Okay, so before I make the SummerSlam review, I want to make this beforehand, and it's still pretty much some, but it has still one of the most talk-worthy news in the wrestling world. Bobby Lashley is leaving. Seems like a very likely seems to be leaving WWE, and MVP has seems to fall, so that's pretty much confirmed. He's as good as gone now. So it was a crazy. So is that was like 2 3 weeks ago, like the news broke in the news. I remember on a Sunday afternoon, and there was I heard that Lash's contract expired. It seems going likely to be leaving soon, and MVP then I think like beforehand, like I think it was a month or two ago where he started made some accusations about Triple being racist and that he could have done the Hurt Business reunion, but he refused to do it for one reason or another. There was some crazy thing. And let's get out of it. Never did MVP once deemed claim that Trevor was racist. People made that accusation about, oh, is he a racist? Some shit like, yes. And I mean, look, there have been so many racist shit WWE, even including Triple H in some way was calling Booker T a nappy hair, and people like you don't become world champion. Like, didn't he parody um, himself as one of the nation domination like 25, 26 years ago, back in the Attitude Era? But I don't think New York can claim him as the Booker now be called racist. So, but yeah, so there was that, him criticizing him, and now him and Bobby Lashley seems as good as gone now. And I want to talk about more. I'm gonna mention everything, but I'm gonna talk about most about Bobby Lashley since that's what everybody seems to be talking with this, and like he's kind of a fortunate situation in that it was kind of clear, especially when the last year, that there was never really a solid plan for Ashley as like a top player main event, like with the new regime. Like I feel like most of Lashley's star power like pretty much kind of diminished a lot in the last year. And this second run, but with that, you can't call you can't call this entire second one, which started back in 2018 when he came back. You can't call this recent run out last year, call it anything other than specific. It was. But the thing is, like, it took its time. Like those first few years, oh my god, 2018, 2019 when he came back. Oh my god. Like, they talk about mishandle. Like, you talk about, you would think, like, okay, the last year he was kind of mishandled. 2018, 2019, oh my god, he was another level of wasted talent. Like, some of the awful shit they did with him in those first 2 years, like the Lashley sisters, the Leo Rush Ferris start out good, but then in turn Lashley threw a joke. And then the Lana shit with Rusev. Oh god. Like they completely totally kind of buried the dude on television. Like they completely missed it for the gag and yeah, like those were some brutal first 2 years, and that was like all before the pandemic. Then the COVID pandemic happened 2020, and things turned up to a lot, and then enter MVP, where she told Ashley in the I think backstage segment where he talked about when's Lashley gonna let Lashley out, that now he came back. He saw the potential that he wants to become a WWE champion, and he comes back and he sees Lashley in the same goddamn spot, and he promises to take it to a promised land. And then they start pairing together, and then enter the Hurt business. So it was right around that time when they formed up the Hurt business. Later, Shelton Benjamin came in. They were initially a three-man group, and then Celtic Alexander turned here and entered the join the group. And I remember rumors back in back then 2020 of them like trying to do a new nation fashion, which I was very skeptical because like how I don't know how this will work or something like that, but because you try to because what are you trying to do? They're trying to be knockoffs of the nation, like. But then you saw the Thunderdome Raw shows, and you saw those four men, Lashley, Shelton, Alexander, MVP, always dispensing fancy suits, and I remember I'll never forget their fighting retribution in some of those Thunderdome Raws, and say you want about those shows, about those Monday Night Raws in the Thunderdome, the pandemic era. But those four motherfuckers were the highlight of the show of Monday Night Raw. Every week, those Thunderdome shows, like they were really a breath of fresh air. Like they were something. They just had that cool factor. They just had it factor that you just knew it for the moment they came in, and then you saw Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander winning the World Tag Team Championship. You saw Lashley winning the United States Championship, and then when he dropped it, like immediately the week after, he won the WWE Championship, which that was a long time coming, and everyone was buzzing when he won. I remember the social media engagement when he won, like all the wrestlers were rejoiced the fact that he's now finally WWE champion and hit that peak at the main and hit that stride as a main event that we all knew he could be. He just needed that extra thing, and her business became that thing. Just became that thing that he needed to catapult to the main event scene. And then, like immediately after they broke up the Hurt Business, which, look, yeah, yes, they prematurely ended the group, and yeah, it was pretty much stupid how they broke up. And when they did it, the timing was just all wrong. I still think they still have more mileage as a group during that time, especially when Lashley became WWE champion. But like, y'all need to remember one thing: like, the Hurt Business was only created so that way it could get Lashley to that main event scene in a more believable way. Like, it was to help Lashley get over as a main eventer for when he could become WWE champion. Like, the goal in the Hurt Business was never to get over a guy like a Shelton Benjamin. It was never was meant to get over someone like a Cedric Allison because Vince McMahon did not give a fuck about either of these two. If you saw after the Hurt Business, you know exactly he did not give a two shits about those two. It was only to help Bobby Lashley. And it worked. It made your race. So I can't really call the Hurt Business anything other than a bust. Anything about a bust. Like, you can't call it anything other than a success. Like, because they were they because it was a success story. And they don't want they needed to do to get Bobby Lashley to get Bobby Lashley over as a main eventer and become WWE champion. So yeah, but yeah, I think it was still have. I still think they still have mileage to do. I still think the way the timing they did was pretty stupid how they broke up. But yeah, the Hurt Business was still a success. So there's that. And then like he turned, and then after his one with the WWE title, and then he turned babyface. And yeah, he was a pretty over babyface, like one of the top baby faces in like 2022 ish. Like, the dude was substantially old. I can't believe they didn't put up against Roman during that time. Like, I can't believe that. I still think that's a huge missed opportunity to not pull that. So yeah. Then he had that weird feud with Brock Lesnar in late 2023 and then early 2023. Just bizarre. And that where kind of went downhill a little. He was still put as a man with play, but things became flustered. And then after he was supposed to face Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania last year in Hollywood. But as you know, that as fate will have it, Bray was dealing with heart issues with COVID that led into his sadly passing last year. And that left Lashley nothing to do for Mania. Like, he was not completely. He still showed up holding up the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy after he won that Battle Royal Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy thing at like on a SmackDown before Mania. But yeah, he was off, and yeah, I think that was kind of the beginning of the end, in my opinion. That whole thing, and then enter his alliance with the Street Profits, and as a heel group, they were called the Pride, I think. during that period. And yeah, it was an unfortunate thing because it's like they they it should have done so much more for the Street Profits, especially Montez for like I think like being as a heel, I I think maybe if if all went well according to plan, I think maybe could have broke off Montez Ford as a single star. They could have done Montez versus Lashley, and it could have elevated Montez to an even big position on on the card, on the top on the card, as a star. But then like they really didn't do much with them as a group. Then they turned their heel. They put in this fact. They put all three together as a group, but they never really went anywhere. Like they feuded with LWO, and that was quick. And then the crowd still reacted pretty nicely towards those three, so they turned those three baby faces back to baby faces, and then put it in that feud with the Final Testament that by WrestleMania long as past its expiration date. Like that was a total waste feud of of all three, the Montez Ford, Adrian Dog, and Bobby Lashley. Like it was a complete waste of all three, and yeah, the all all of Lashley's star power kind of diminished during that time period. And yeah, like I still and I think like Triple H like I like I like like I said, Triple H could have done much more with the group and handled it differently, but yeah, like that was. And I know like Lashley was injured after supposedly, and then you hear the news of it, and it makes you think: was he really or not? Because apparently they offer him a contract that Lashley wasn't in the rush, in a hurry to sign, and now he's considering other options. So yeah, like I said, the last year of him in WWE is super unfortunate, and they could have done so much more with him, especially with him with Montez Angel Dawkins, the Street Profits. It has so much potential. I remember when they paired up the three, and kind of all went to waste. Kind of all went to waste. And now and the Street Profits like now like they're just floundering around in the tag team division. It's kind of sad when you really think about it. And now Lashley is now supposedly leaving. So yeah, what kind of a way the whole trio was that had so much potential. But yeah, I so that's like so that's so looks like to be it for last week's whole second run WWE. Uh, Pretty much a bumpy ride, but in the end, it was a pretty mostly good run out of last week's WWE, and kind of sad he's gone. And I think, and like I said, I still think they could do so much with him. Like he could be a challenger for Cody Rhodes on the SmackDown brand. But now this, and he's looks like going to be leaving. So yeah. And the MVP coming back when he did was an added bonus for Lashley and her business as a whole. So that's pretty much my thoughts. And as far as MVP, I will touch on it a little bit now. Okay. Um, Even for MVP, I still think they could do a much better role for him other than just be the manager of Omos, which they haven't done much with Omos. And I can kind of get why. I mean, the dude's pretty limited in the ring, so you can't really do that much with him. So they still could do much with the role of MVP, but yeah. But like I said, it was mostly a fun run for everybody, especially with that pair with Bobby Lashley and Hermes. So yeah, that's kind of my whole thoughts of the whole Bobby Lashley and MVP leaving WWE very soon. So yeah, so like this video if you haven't, subscribe. Tell me what you think about Bobby Lashley and MVP leaving the WWE in the comment section below. And as always, I'm Jason Marines, and I approve this message.